All right. We are talking about Christmas lights today. We're going to be running through our new Christmas light quote template and campaign. So we're going to give some time here for people to pop in, and then we'll go from there. What's up, David? My beard keeps falling off. I don't know why. All right. Gonna wait for a few more people. All righty. Let me just go ahead and get started. All right. Can blame James for this get up. This is this one's on James. He's forcing me to wear this. But we're gonna get started here in a second, and I'm gonna take this off so people can hear me, but all right. Let me share my screen. Today we are going over how to quote and set up sales follow for Christmas lights in ProLine. So I'm gonna take this off. This is fun, but all right. Now I can talk. Okay, so mostly for companies up north where there's already snow on the roofs and you got to stop roofing. Um, Christmas lights is a really good service that can be sold um, for to buffer revenue in the off season. If you need something to sell in the off season, Christmas lights is a good solution for that. So we have worked up because there was a demand for this from some of ProLine users, some ProLine users. We worked up a quote template and a campaign specifically for selling Christmas lights through ProLine. So I'm going to go through that here in a second. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover before that then, but I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and um, start this. I want to make sure that you guys can talk in the chat. Let me make sure the chat is open for everybody. Okay, so everyone can now message in the chat. So if you have any questions, just pop something in the chat and I'll take a look at that. So, okay. So there's two things that we've built out in ProLine specifically for selling Christmas lights. We have a new quote template and we have a new campaign. So I'm going to start with the quote template here. If I go to company settings, quotes, and then add quote template from library, we're going to look at the ProLine library, and then we're going to go into the drop down here, and we're going to find the Christmas light installation template. So I'm going to click add, and then ProLine's going to pull in this ready-made quote template from our library into your account so that you can start creating quotes with it. I'm going to click to open this. So we'll go through all of this here in a second. Along with adding the quote template itself, you're going to get some new items here in your price list. So all the items relevant to Christmas lights are going to get added to your price list. So you won't have to worry about that. So for Christmas lights, the Christmas light template that we have here now, we'll start here with the cover page. Our template just has a generic photo of some Christmas lights, but you can absolutely replace this with a picture of the prospect's home, or you could replace it with a you could also just replace this with your own picture of your own Christmas lights that you've installed on your own house or for another customer or whatever you want to have here for the cover image. Then we have the intro page. This is very similar to most of our other quote templates. We do have a gallery, so if you wanted to add in either some photos, you could use the gallery two different ways. You could take photos of the prospect's house where you're going to install lights, and just say, hey, here's all the places we're going to install lights, or you could use it as a way to showcase some of your past work, and upload that. You can also just remove it if you're not going to use it. Then we have the structure here. We've used the structure page because the boom lift is a cost that's going to apply across the board, and then we have the add-ons here for for different for the different types of lights. So you can when you quote this, this is going to get included, and then you have your different add-ons that you're selecting for all the different types of lights. You can definitely remove change these in the list if you have, or add new add-ons instead if you have other types of lights that you want to install. Maybe like just Christmas decorations, even non-lights could be included here. And so that's how we have it structured. It's all add-ons just because there's no real like base for like Christmas lights. It's kind of what the customer wants. So we've structured this all as add-ons. All right. Then we have terms and conditions here. And so this is just an adaptation of our standard terms and conditions that's in our regular quotes, and it's just focused on Christmas lights instead of roof replacement. And then, of course, you need the signature page to collect the signature. So we have this now. We can also customize these if we want to. We're going to come back here in a bit, and we're going to customize the stage. Well, actually, we can go ahead and do this now. So we can just do like a quote sent stage here for sent, and then signed. We can do we'll do one. Now you can certainly have like a different pipeline for Christmas lights if you want. Up to you on how you want to run that. But I'm going to assume that you're going to use your same pipelines and stages for Christmas lights as you do for your normal jobs, just because it's easier and you can use conditional triggers for that. So we have that. So now let's look at the campaign, because we created a sales follow-up campaign as well to go along with this quote template that is specifically for Christmas lights. So if you go to your campaigns, we'll go into this sales follow-up folder. You might have different folders in your account. Doesn't really matter. Just go into the folder that you want to use. Get a new campaign. We're going to type in Christmas lights. Okay. We're going to do import from library. We got ProLine library here, and then we're going to do Christmas lights. This is all of our pre-built templates that we have available for ProLine. So Christmas lights is here at the bottom of the list of sales follow-up. So just go ahead and create that. And so you can see here, ProLine is going to create and automatically add the relevant steps. So ProLine's building out this campaign for us from our template that we have pre-built. So we have email, text message. All of this has been customized specifically for Christmas lights. And so it's all ready to go for Christmas lights. And then we're going to go ahead and turn this on. So now we have our campaign here that's ready to go for Christmas lights. We're going to go into projects, and we're going to go to quote sent. This is where all our quotes are moving projects to, including the Christmas light quotes. So when someone signs a Christmas light quote, it's going to add that project to this stage. And then let's add a trigger here. So we don't have Christmas lights as a service yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to company settings, projects, services, and we'll add Christmas lights. Yeah, that should be good. So now we'll go back here. And then when you're adding in Christmas light projects, just make sure to use that service. Make sure you're adding the Christmas lights service here. And then we have quote sent. And we'll go to services, Christmas lights. We'll make sure to move this up above. So this one is sent to all projects. So this is like the catch all sales follow up campaign. We already have gutters here. We have roof replacement, contingency, and then that's going to be commercial. So this is going to be well placed right here. And then we'll start the sales follow up Christmas light follow up campaign that we already created. And this is already on. So this is now good to go. So now we can create a project. And we'll just say that this is Mr. Christmas lights. Let's put in Christmas at ProLine.app. And this will be good. We'll say Google. We'll just say like referral. Okay. And then, of course, we need an address. Just pull a random address in here. And then we could also, you could just do a regular inspection, but if you wanted to, you could also create a special event type for Christmas lights. So you could have like a Christmas light inspection event type. I'm not going to do that here, but you could easily go into your company settings and add that if you wanted to do that. But we'll go ahead and just schedule the appointment for Christmas lights to be Thursday at 9:30 a.m. And then we want to make sure that we select Christmas lights here as a service and then save. So now we have Mr. Christmas lights here scheduled for an inspection on Thursday. And then from here, we'll say that it's Thursday now. We've gone and inspected the home for putting up the Christmas lights. So now we're going to run a quote. And we're going to use that new Christmas light installation template. We don't need any measurements for this. We set this up not to use measurements just because Christmas lights it's not, I mean, you could, but not like, for example, all eaves are not going to get lights. Generally, the homeowner is going to be like, oh, you just put it along the front or something like that. And so you would come in and you would run this. You would just put in the linear feet of each thing that you need. And so there's not that many items here. So you would just, and maybe they only want icicle lights and mini lights. So we'll deselect everything else and we'll say they want, 200 linear feet of icicle lights. And then we want to make sure we get the same amount of labor here. It might be a lot. We'll make like 100. And then we'll say, oh, we don't have any of those. Okay. So we'll do mini lights and we'll do 50 and 50. And so now we have that built out. We got one boom lift. And so now we are good to go here. We can add discounts if we want to. We'll make sure so we have 50% margin on this. That's our default for this. But of course you can change that margin if you need to. And we'll let this generate. For those that missed earlier, I did have the full beard. So James made me do it. Got the full Christmas beard. It's really hard to talk in this thing though, so I took it off. All right. So now we have our Christmas lights. It does say new quote, so I want to go ahead and customize that here. Go Christmas light installation, default quote settings, and we'll say this is going to be Christmas lights. Oh. All right. I also, there's one other thing that we might have to change here to get this to work right. I just thought of, but I'm going to test first. So um, this is going to Christmas light installation. It's going to regenerate. I cannot wait. We were about to launch in just a couple weeks here. We're going to be, I say maybe 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to be launching instant quote previews. So there will be no more having to wait for your quote to load. It's going to just instantly show up, which is very exciting. But that's coming soon. All right. So this is now good to go. We don't have any images for the gallery. So this is going to go ahead and just deselect that. Now it's going to generate again. Really can't wait for the instant quote previews. Oliver's working on it as we speak. Okay. So we have our icicle lights here. We got our mini lights, and we have that pricing here. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then, of course, we have our selection here. Now, one thing I'm just thinking of that I might need to change in our template. I'm going to test this real quick. I don't think that the boom costs are being factored in because you need at least one option. So I'm going to change this on our main quote template, but we'll just change it here for right now. So Christmas light installation structure, we're going to add in one option page. We're going to do okay. And we could just put in, there we go. So we can just have the boom lift here instead of in the structure line items. This will work well. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to go back and we're going to just delete this one. Christmas light installation. Okay, so we got that new name here. We're going to deselect gallery, and this should all be good to go now. So we'll do one more generation, and then we should be good to go. Here we go. All right. So we have, oh, I forgot to put in the numbers. All right, just kidding. Almost there. So we need one boom lift, and we'll put in 50 and 50, and then we'll put in 100, 100. Let's put in an unlit wreath. Perfect. Okay. One more generation. I cannot wait to get rid of this waiting. Though it will be sad that we won't be able to see Conjuring anymore. All right. So we have our basic Christmas light installation. We have our different add-ons here. And then, yeah, so that's all here. And so now we can go ahead and sign this. And ProLine's going to force that Christmas light installation option to be selected. And then the homeowner can select which of these other items they want based on what was quoted. So we'll select some of these, and then we will sign on the spot. All right, so that's been signed. So now we can see that um, I might have selected, one more little issue here. So that was supposed to go to, I just selected the wrong stage. So send quote actions. That was supposed to go to quote sent. Oh, signed. Right. Okay. I meant to send it. I did. So that was right. It was set up correctly. Let's do this. We're going to move this back to creating quote. We're going to duplicate this now. Okay. We'll delete this one. All right, this should all be good to go. So this time I'm going to send it. I'm not going to sign it. I'm going to send it. Okay. So now this is all good to go here. Yep, looks good. We're going to send it. There's no phone number, so it's just going to send by email. So this is good. We can edit this if we want to. And then we will send. All right, so quote is sent. So now we will see that ProLine moved the project over to quote sent automatically. And it's going to have the Christmas light sales follow-up queued up and ready to go. So it's going to start sending out the follow-up here, starting here in a few minutes. And so yeah, that's how that all works together. And then when that quote does get signed, that's when it would move over to one, or whatever you have it configured to send to. All right. So that is Christmas lights in a nutshell. Let me make a note for myself. I need to go ahead and add that option to the template. Add option, change name. Okay. So now I just want to open it up, let you guys ask any questions that you want, preferably something related to Christmas lights, at least initially. But I can certainly answer any other questions as well if you guys have any. If you have, so see some questions in the chat. Absolutely, Chris. Thanks for coming. There is a Q&A. You guys can use the chat or you can use the Q&A if you have any questions. Or just raise your hand. That works too. There's a little hand raise button. Give you guys a couple minutes here to ask any questions. Open it up. Any questions, even if it's not related to Christmas lights. If anybody has any questions, I'm here to answer. John asks, "What's next with ProLine?" Well, there's a lot of exciting stuff. So we're doing another round of improvement on the quotes. We're going to have instant quote previews. We're adding more cover pages, cover page designs. We're doing multiple signatures, a few other kind of quality of life improvements, but we're basically just kind of really leveling up our quotes to. We don't want anybody else's quotes to be on our level. We want to beat everybody. So there's a few things left that some other platforms have that we don't have. So that's the biggest thing. The only other thing major with quotes that's changing is with the new instant quote preview, that works for both. That's both inside and outside. There will still be a quote PDF that can be downloaded, but we're moving away from the quote PDF being the main thing that's displayed. Yes, cover options is part of this new update. So with the new version of quotes, the prime when someone clicks the link to view a quote, or if you're viewing it in ProLine, we're just displaying the quote information in real time instead of it being a PDF. So there's still going to be a PDF that gets generated in the background that can be downloaded and will get attached to emails if that's what you want, and all that kind of stuff. But because the main quote now is going to be live, essentially a live web page, it's going to be possible to embed videos into your quotes, which is very fun. So I've been talking about that a bit with the team and with John, and there's a lot of really cool stuff. You can have like a video going over your company's story that gets embedded into the quote, and so that's going to be cool. Those are the main things that are changing. Um, that's there's the move to the instant previews is a really big jump. So we're approaching that carefully. It's a pretty big undertaking, but it really I think it's just going to be a much better experience for everyone. So that's a big project that we're working on that hopefully really by end of November that should be live. Um, and then the other big thing, we're about to launch a really big redesign of calendars. So not a ton of functionality is changing. A little bit of functionality is changing, and being improved on, but it's mostly a UI and speed improvement. So our current calendar setup is a little sluggish, just a little bit more sluggish than we want it to be. And so we've done a ton of work on that, and it looks really nice. The new UI for calendars looks really nice. So I'm really excited about that. And then we are also in the early stages of planning out a rebuild of the ProLine mobile app. Um, there's a lot of good things about the current mobile app, but one of the drawbacks of the current mobile app is it's a little bit on the slow side relative to what we want it to be. So the goal is to rebuild the app from scratch with all the same functionality, maybe some improved UI, but we're gonna try not to go too crazy on the changes, and same functionality, but much faster. We're gonna rebuild it with basically from scratch with a different code base, um, so that we can eliminate it. I'm sure everyone has experienced the app like reloading itself sometimes. Sometimes you open it, it's got to load again. We're going to be eliminating a lot of those issues. It's going to be a pretty substantial difference in experience on the mobile app once we get done. I don't have a definite timeline on that, but we are hoping to have that done early 2025. So definitely before next season picks up. All right. Um, any other any other questions? John asks, is there a way to get the default web form speed delete template loaded into my account? Yes. So all you got to do is go to campaigns, go to speed delete, new campaign. You can type in, whatever you want it to be, whatever you want to call it, and then import from library, and then pull in our speed to lead generic website. There was a number of different options here. We have one specifically for Roof Quote Pro, specifically for Angie. We have like roofing specific website, and then this is going to be more just like your project. So you probably want to choose between one of these two, and then pull that in, and ProLine will pull in our external template right into your account, and so that'll be then good to go. And then for assigning that to a web form, you're going to want to go to integrations. We might be moving this at some point, but for right now, web forms are still edited here on the integrations page, so they're considered an integration. So you go to your website form, And then we have, so if you're using booking pages, then the event type is going to determine the campaign. But if you have this off and it's just you're just using the web form functionality without scheduling an event, then you would just come in and select then that new speed to lead, and then you're good to go. So um, I can't this. I think this is being used somewhere, so I'm going to go back to the event type. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? Anything else I can answer? Anything at all? Lots of new integrations lately. Tons of new stuff. I think the most recent things were Roof Scope, GF Quick Measure, ABC Supply. Those are our most recent. Um, there's live price syncing with ABC Supply now. Roof Scope, JF are both measurement providers. Of course, Eagle View is our who we love the most, but we know people like having options, so we have that. We also have Okay, so we also another measurement integration is the CSV import, and we there was some discussion on where we were going to put these settings, and we just decided to put it in here just because it's essentially the same process as like setting these up. You basically have to map the fields that are coming over from these measurement providers to your different fields in ProLine. So you do the same thing here with CSV imports. You map over, like these are the fields that you can match to for the CSV, and then we got to match those to fields in ProLine. So you map all this over. Then once you do that, you can then use CSV. You can export CSVs um, from any. There's a ton of other measurement providers that we don't have integrations with. Some of which we will never have integrations with. That for various reasons. You can export CSVs from those platforms, and then you can import them into ProLine, and that just avoids having to manually copy those numbers over. So it saves a little bit of time. But that time does add up if you're quoting a lot of jobs. So we have that as well. All right. I think we are about to wrap up here. Don't know what time it is. I guess we've been on here only about 30 minutes. So any other questions? I'll just hang out for another like 2 to 3 minutes here to see if anybody else has any questions. Otherwise, we will wrap up. All right. All right. Thanks for the questions, guys. And thanks for coming. And if you're trying to do the Christmas light stuff, and you run into any roadblocks, please just reach out to our support. They can help you with it and kind of walk you through things. So, yeah, absolutely. Would love to hear from you. And best of luck, everybody. I will see you all on the next webinar. We are switching these office hours to be more like webinars in general. So we're still going to have Q&A, but they are going to be more topical